Dramatic music this week, of course. Welcome, everybody. Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. And broadcasting around the world. Tonight is the Off-Grid Living Show. And our first guest is Herbster. So welcome to the mic, Herbster.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Let you know a little progress that I've got this week. I'm pretty sure you guys have done seen my videos on some of the work I've done. I've actually started off and got the upstairs totally framed out and ready for heating and air conditioning guy, which I actually got lucky this week or last week and hooked up with a contractor. He is going to install everything for a good price, a real good price that I can't beat. As soon as I walk in the door, all I got to do is just flip a switch. Heat and air conditioning comes on. And that's all brand new units with a 5-year warranty. Also got framing done down on the first floor in the living room, the dining room. I'm still yet to do the kitchen yet. What I got? The sewage pipe in from the main all the way up and out through the roof, all glued and ready to go. And I tell you what, tomorrow will be my last day of gutting the house. At least that one part of the phase will be totally done. And also tomorrow the guys will be starting to install the central air and furnace system. Like I said, if you've seen any of my videos, you'll see all of the work I've got completed. Like I said, I only get to work on things a couple hours a day. Today I actually went down there and I just got in right before the show started. So if anybody's got any questions, more than welcome to ask. Put your hands up and just let me know. All right, Dive, go ahead.
Well, I have a multiple facet question. First, what are you wearing? Second, I heard that by the Australian Chewbacca that you are actually the father of Princess Troy. Is that true? And third, how is it going with your plan? Are you going to finish in time or not?
All right. First thing, I ain't wearing nothing. I figure I'll just sit here in my boxers. That's why I'm wearing my boxers. No. Hell no. There's no way I could be related to Troy. And yes, my project is actually on schedule. I should hopefully by Christmas or New Year's, the house should be completed. That's the one thing that was holding me up was the heating and air conditioning. And now that actually fell in place, I'm back on schedule to have it done by the end of the year. Anyone else have any questions? Go ahead, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what kind of kilowatt hours of solar I would need to run, say, an AC unit, refrigerator, dishwasher, and all this. Because I know I won't have everything on at once. Like, what kind of kilowatt hours am I looking at for an average house?
I'll just jump in there, Herb, if I can. Inspector, I'd suggest you simply buy a kilowatt meter. I'm sure you're aware of what one of those are. And go and check all the usage of your appliances, your fridge, washing machine, anything you can think of. Check all your appliances. It's called a kilowatt meter. You can leave it on for, say, 4 hours. You can work out how often you use those appliances. What that will give you is a reading of what your wattage is. Then you can work backwards. You know what your demand of power will be when you write down and add up all those power needs. You can go backwards and say, okay, well, I need X amount of batteries, and then you can work out how many panels you will need. It's best to do that exercise first, finding out what your power consumption is. And if you can just simply even look on things like your current electricity bill, it will tell you how much kilowatt per day. But we're actually, again, I'm not trying to be rude, but we're in the middle of Herb's show, so if we can just keep the questions relevant to what Herb's doing, by all means put your hand up and ask him questions, but we'll certainly help you after the show. But if we just get back to Herb at the moment, that's okay. So what I do, I just have a quick question, Herb. This is an important question because it's all to do with dollars. Do you think you're going to finish within the parameters of what you thought you were going to spend in upgrading this house?
If it was back when I first got the house and I was actually looking at how much, okay, this was going to cost and that was going to cost, no. The answer to your question, no, I'm not going to hit in within that price, that budget, because of all the things that came up afterwards. So, like, I didn't know I had to go into this depth of it. So now I am in this depth of it. So now I'm going to be a little bit over. Well, not a little bit, a lot. But but I still should be able to make a good, nice size profit off of it. So hopefully that'll help. Go ahead, KD.
Hey, what have you decided to do on that one side that was a little bit rough, and what about the kitchen downstairs and that little back room there? What are you going to do with that, and how is that kitchen? Are you going to have like a kitchen and dining room in that bottom part, the bottom part in the back?
Yeah, it's going to be a dining room kitchen, open floor plan from the dining room and the kitchen. So you'll be able to see all the way from the dining room into the kitchen, which you have a granite countertop and some cabinets that will like separate it type deal. The little entryway in the back would be just more of a like a little storage where they store canned goods, or where they might want to put their coats and put their boots on, stuff like that. I can't think of the name of it right now, but that's basically how that's going to be. Go ahead, Dive.
Did you ever heard back from that lady about that solar installation? Because I remember that at the very beginning you wanted to make that house to be off the grid, and you had that discussion with that lady, and turns out to be, well, aside from Aussie Prepper, Piston Broke, and everybody else laughing at my accent, jackasses, how expensive did that turn to be? Oui.
Now, I actually haven't gotten back in touch with her. On the videos, you'll see that where the house is located, and they don't care about being off grid. They don't care about being tied to the grid. So the money that I was going to spend on putting it off grid, I've decided to put into the bathroom and into the kitchen. That's why I'm going to go with granite countertops, and I'm going to go with all stainless steel appliances in the kitchen and stuff like that, and then of course make the bathroom nicer, because if you look at it, I actually made the bathroom bigger, wider, more feasible, to be used. So that's where I went with that. And like I said, the woman, like I said, one day I'll still get a chance. I'll go out there and I'll actually do some video and maybe interview her and let her explain how she does this and how she does that, and what she's got and what she don't have and what she gets out of it. All right, go ahead, Seats.
Yeah, just a quick reminder to the people, the new ones in the room in particular, you need to put your hand up to ask a question. You don't have to use the mic. Your hand could be up, and then you can put your question in text if you don't want to speak. But please put your hand up if you do want to ask a question. I have a real relevant question, because I don't know what the process in the US at the moment is with selling homes. Is it an auction format, or is it simply a listing format? In your area, do you think an auction, because this is going to look quite good when it's finished and has great appeal, is an auction of the property an option for you?
Yes. The area right now, there was a house that was redone, probably not to this extreme, and it went for, I think it was $130,000, which is really good. Especially when I'm only going to have maybe 70, a little bit more than 70,000 into it. So I should actually make a good, nice size profit. If it doesn't sell by the time that I'm ready to go look for my land, auction is an option. That's exactly what I'm going to do. it should at least bring 120 at an auction with the houses in that neighborhood. Okay, I'm going to answer a question here for Inspector Gadget. Was the house a tax lien purchase? No. The house that I purchased was a good friend of mine. Her parents passed away, and she got it in a inheritance. She couldn't afford to keep it. She couldn't afford to take and do all the work to it. So she actually sold it to me for a very, very reasonable price, and I made sure that she has something, to show for it. All right, go ahead, KD.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think what you're doing is trying to make the house as nice and appealing to the greatest amount of people, and make the most of your money to where you can eventually actually yourself move out and get your own place. So I see you with your eye on the prize, doing, changing things on this house, and just going, what you're doing with the kitchen and the bathroom is a good thing, because it's going to help you make the most amount of money, so you can have that to be able to put towards what you actually really want to do yourself.
Yeah, like I said, my goal, in the beginning, it was for my son and his daughter to have a place to stay, but it was always going to be eventually flipped over so I can purchase the land. When I do move and get my land, I do not want no more mortgage payments. It's going to be bad enough just with property taxes every year, So I wanted something to where the rest of my money I can invest into my solar, into my batteries, into my wind turbines, and etc. So this was the best way for me to go about not having to worry about a bank loan, me not having to worry about owing somebody or not being able to make a mortgage payment. So this was my best bet. Go ahead, Dive.
Square feet is your current house, and what is actually the central air unit you plan to install on that? A 1 ton, 2 tons?
The guy's going to install a 2-ton AC unit and all that for it. He said that should be more than sufficient for that small of a house. And like I said, the way he's going to install it, it's going to save me room. So every inch of the house is going to be used. So it won't be no waste there.
How many square feet is the house?
I'm sorry, you came in a little low. I couldn't hear you.
How many square feet is the house?
Actually, I never laid it out. The guy was telling, I think it was like what is it? 16 by 30, I think it is, each floor. So it's 2 floors. All right, Inspector Gadget. If you start a nonprofit, that's nice to know. I actually will check into that because, like I said, I don't want to pay no property tax, but I will check into that. Go ahead, Seeds.
Actually, the question comes from the wife, but it's being spoken through me, and that is if the opportunity before you get your land arose again to do another house. I don't know. At this stage, you'd probably say no. But is the thought process going X amount of dollars out of doing this one and maybe X amount of dollars of doing another one? Has it crossed your mind? And are there any sort of properties in your area that would give you the opportunity to do it again?
Yes, there. If it come about and I have not found the property, if I get a chance to double my money or whatever, yes, I would actually do it. There is opportunities local, close to me, that it's a bunch of houses that go up for sale for just taxes, or they go up for sale for 1/3 of what the price would go. But yeah, I would actually check into that if that arose. But my goal is right now is no. I want to get to my land. I want to get where I'm just feeling more comfortable. I'm getting too old for this.
That brings me to my next question, because I have been in touch with you over the last few months, and there are places that you've been looking at, and because we're getting close to finishing off this project, have you narrowed down the areas that you will be looking to purchase land? Is there a certain county, or, you know, I know you've looked in certain areas, some near where Doc lives, but have you sort of decided, you and your wife, where you will be looking at and sort of concentrating on trying to purchase land in a particular area?
Yeah, it is a particular area for the work that I do. Like I said, I travel to Pennsylvania from Maryland about 2 to 3 times a week. So that's the area I'm looking at, up near Gettysburg, which is a great historical area, great for my business and for other things that I want to do. Taxes are actually pretty cheap in that part of the area, so that's the area I want to go to, and that's where I have a goal set in mind. Now, if I do find some other better land that has a stream on it, you know, for a more reasonable price and stuff like that, then I'll be thinking about going to that area.
Herbster, I have a question, and the question's this. Tackling on a job like this, would you be interested in doing another one?
This is my second time doing this. Like I said, the first house, I mean, where I'm living at now was the first project I ever done. That was 16 years ago. I forgot how much hard work it was. I figured, you know, this house was smaller, so it would be less work. But when you're doing a lot of this by yourself, you know, I do get a hand every now and then, but when you're doing it by yourself, it's just way too much. And trying to do my jobs and the 2 jobs that I work, and then try to do this house also on the side, it's age is showing. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm getting too old for this, man. Like I said, I don't mind doing it. I actually love doing it, you know, but sometimes it can get pretty tiresome.
So are you gaining any type of thoughts that this may be your last project like that?
Well, yeah, it'd be my last project, hopefully like this. But when I get to the land, I'm actually going to build my own buildings, you know, I mean, as much as I can. Pretty much, like I said, I'll order the stuff, but I want to build a a pretty nice sized cabin. But it's not going to be a cabin. To me, it's going to be more of a modular home. Like I said, I mean, because I have kids and I have in-laws and all that I take care of, so a 3-bedroom is a minimum that I'm going to need.
I understood, Herbie.
Go ahead, Seats.
Yeah, now drifting forward in time, I know you have a really big family. And obviously, they're all going to chip in and help when you do get property. But just to give people a picture of the property and the things you'll have on it, you're starting off with RVs and mobile homes. And I do believe there was one block that had a couple of mobile homes on it. How many people are actually going to be living on it, do you think, in the near future? With, let's say, flip forward 2 years. How many people will be there? And there's going to be enough people to help construct all of these things that you want to do. So you're going to have an instant community is what I'm saying. But can you give us an idea just about how many people will be living on the property?
I would say, counting the kids and the adults, a minimum of 20. At least 20, maybe close to 30. That would be just starting off in the first year. And then as family members are able to come up and start, you know, sharing on the work and sharing on, you know, doing things and helping us process it all the way through, it will actually be a really, really big community. That's why I'm always looking for at least 20 acres or better. Go ahead, Di.
I truly believe that you have an insanely good heart, and I'm going to be cheering for you forever for what you're trying to do without the shadow of a doubt, unless you turn Troy stupid. But my question is anyone else other than you working toward that goal, or are you the main supplier of that vision? Because that vision, by all means, is very noble, and honestly, I wish I could do something just like you. By every single stretch of my imagination, I just cannot imagine myself being able to provide for so many people.
Yeah. My brothers and sisters are pretty much disabled. They have an income that the state helps them with. They're on a fixed income, to put it that way. I'm one of 7 children, and my grandmom had 13 children, and each one of those kids averaged. I mean, her kids averaged that. So I come from a really, really large family. I've been a sole provider since I was 14. Always trying to provide for everybody. Once we get up there, there'll be a lot more help than everybody would realize. Like I said, so they'll be lending a hand on a lot of things that that I won't be able to do, or I won't be able to keep up with. So I'm sorry, the phone's ringing. But like I said, yeah, I've always been this way. I'm 45 years old now. I've been working since I was 14. I actually love doing it. I don't really expect anything in return. Them just appreciation of it, and them thanking me is more than reward for me. So I actually love that. Go ahead, Seats.
Yeah, just on a lighter note, I imagine you'll all grow funny bears and erect barns and drive horses and buggies. But no, I'm only kidding. One of the most important questions, of course, in my country, if we were doing something like this, is that you need sort of planning. It's not how many people live on your property, it's the buildings. In Australia, I can build a massive cottage and I can build a massive house. However, that's about the extent of the buildings that I could do in my country. They have a limitation. They'll call one a granny flat, even if it's huge, and the big house the main family. What are the laws in both Maryland and Pennsylvania in regards to that issue, or can that be subverted in regards to having mobile homes because they're not a fixed attachment to the land? Do you have a fair understanding of what the actual laws state you can and can't do on the property that you will be getting?
Yeah, that's actually one of the first things I actually look for when I'm looking for land. There is laws against all that. Like I said, I mean, not against it, but like regulations. So you have to go to the township, and you have to see what the what's required and what's not. Like in other words, it's got to be allowed. If there's mobile homes already on it, like say if there's 3 mobile homes on it, then I can put another mobile home on it. I can actually reconstruct and do what I necessary. Yeah, local authorities have final say. They always do. No matter where you go, I think in the United States, unless you're, I guess, up there with Archie or somewhere where you don't have to worry about it, that's what they're going to do. Yeah, or that's true. Or like I said, if I get any more than I think 3, then you have to consider it as a mobile park community or RV park, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be definitely having to check into all the laws, all the requirements, and everything as I find the land. The one where I was looking at the first time, like I said, you already had a commercial building on it, and it already had 2 mobile homes on it, and it was approved. So I'm hoping that I could find some land up there like that.
Why didn't you?
All right, go ahead, Inspector Gadget.
Okay, I was going to ask if you have done any research into SIP houses, structural insulated panels. The panels go together like Legos. You can build a small house, big house, or modular houses. Yeah, I've recently found this and it looks very interesting. especially the fact of being able to get 12-inch thick panels, so that way if they're super insulated. I live in the southern Arizona desert, so yeah, thermal value is pretty important both during summertime for the extreme heat and then at nighttime for the extreme cold.
Once I get this project done, I will be looking into anything and everything, every possible way as far as energy control, every possible way as far as heat control. And when I do build my houses and stuff like that, because this house that I live in now, instead of being built in 2x4s, it will be built out of 2x6s. I have no problem where I'm at. As far as summer times, the house stays cool. In winter time, I don't barely ever turn the heat on. That's how good it is insulated. So that's the exact way I will build it. The walls will be 2x6s, not 2x4s. But like I said, every possibility, any and every possibility will be as far as going through. Thank you, man. How about you, Dive?
Let's pretend for a second that we like you. Not that I pretend we like you, but let's pretend. How can we help you?
How can you help me? You guys help me every day. Every day that someone leaves a comment, someone actually says, "Hey Herb, check this out. Think about this." That's more than enough for me. Like I said, I actually do appreciate it. I love learning things. You guys, like I said, know so much about solar. You know so much about wind, or you know so much about water pumps, and anything and everything. That's good enough for me. I do appreciate it. And I don't think that you like me. I know you like me. Go ahead, Aussie.
Yes, have you thought about getting one of your daughters or your sons or your cousins to get them to marry a butcher? Because it's obvious that you can't bloody chop a bloody chook's head off, or your missus. So you've got to get one of your family to marry a butcher. Okay? That is a must when you're living off grid, especially in the shit hitting the fan scenario. Now, have you also thought about sending me a plane ticket and getting me over there to help you out? I can be project manager, Mike out.
All right, well, I'll think about sending you a plane ticket. I just gotta make sure I hide all the beer and everything before you get here. As far as the butcher goes, I have a couple members of my family that actually go hunting, and they know how to skin a deer and do stuff like that. And you're right, I guess I'm just a wuss. I can't kill an animal. Like I said, I can eat it as long as I don't have to look it in the face. So yeah, I'll check into that. Hopefully my daughter will find somebody that can butcher a pig or a cow, and as long as they don't tell me about it, how it's done, I'll eat the heck out of it. Go ahead, Seeds.
I know it's an obscure question, but there'll be quite a few kids on board on the property. Is there a thought of homeschooling? It's quite relevant because then transportation is not such an issue. I've had lots of kids, and some go to this primary school, some go to that senior high school, and it's a nightmare. Has anyone in the group of people that will be living with you considered to homeschool the children?
Yeah, that's always a possibility. I'm the only one that didn't finish school probably in my family. The rest of them all have high school diplomas. My oldest daughter right now is in college, so she's in her 3rd year. So yeah, that's always a possibility of doing stuff like that for them. As long as, if it's out of range of the schools or whatever, yeah, then like I said, we'll probably consider something like that. But if it's in range, I'll just kick their butts out of bed and make them go to a regular school. Go ahead, Aussie.
Yeah. Have you thought about building a pizza oven in the kitchen of the house you're going to build for yourself? Because I know you like pizzas and you have pizzas 5 nights a week. So have you thought about, building a genuine pizza oven in the joint so you can never go without pizzas?
Well, that's why I was starting. I'm going to build a nice big garden. I know they got pizza plants, so that's where I was going to go with that. And no dive. My daughter's not hooking up with that guy in New York. Go ahead, Inspector Gadget.
I just wanted to say with about the pizza. I got a kick out of this when my wife was pregnant. Come to find out, the doctors was telling her the best food you can eat actually is pizza. Supreme style pizza. You get your veggies, your dairy, your bread, you got it all. Everything there. So yeah, it's actually a good thing to live off of. Unless you're like me, a little fluffy, and you need to go low carb. But yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm actually, like I said, once I get up there, I'm actually going to check into a lot of different things. Depending on how the land is laid out. The first one, probably, like I said, I was looking at was half flat land, half side of a mountain. So if I get a chance, I'm going to check into, hydroponics and aquaponics. But if I got a nice good flat land, then I'm going to go with a nice big garden, stuff like that. And that's where my kids and a couple of my cousins and nieces and nephews, they actually like doing garden stuff and stuff like that. And that's where they're going to come in really in handy. Go ahead again, Inspector.
I was going to say, yeah, being in the southern Arizona desert, that's why I'm into the aquaponics. They use far less water. So being an off-grid situation, it'd be highly recommended to do the aquaponics as long as you got power for the pump. So yeah, with that you can salvage a lot of your water rather than having to just let it go right back in the ground.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to plan on doing. Like I said, I have a pond on my property now that I actually done, and I'm going to try to make that solar. My only problem is with doing a aquaponic system in my part of the state is worrying about wintertime. I don't think I could circulate ice cold water into the plants and trying to grow food. I'm not absolutely sure, and like I said, I will check into all that. But that's my goal, is actually figure out how the land is laid out, go with the aquaponics, go with the hydroponics, whatever one that suits my best needs. Go ahead, Seats.
Yeah, I know this is not needed at the moment, but will be, because I certainly want to send you something. Is there a chance with a link either on your YouTube or a page that you could direct people to a post office box to send you some stuff? Because there's many people that are supporting you in here and elsewhere, but there is stuff that I'd like to send you, and I'm sure other people would as well. We're part of your journey, so if you don't feel too embarrassed to say so, but in the future, if you could just give us a link that we can do that. I don't want your home address if you don't want that, but post office box, that's fine by me. And before you finish the show, if you could just drop the link into your YouTube channel for those people who don't know much about you, because it's relevant for them to go and have a look.
I do appreciate that, and yes, I actually will get stuff up. Like I said, because all my money right now is going to be tied up into to this house, and of course my own bills and stuff like that. I definitely will put something up there. If somebody wants to send me something, I always do appreciate it. I just don't want anybody to ever think that I'm asking for anything, because I do everything on my own since I was 14 years old, But I do appreciate it. I definitely will drop a link in here. And we do close this out, I will drop a link to my website, and this way everybody can actually see and catch up on it. Dive, did you have a question?
But I realized it wasn't very politically correct, so I decided to skip it. Thank you, sir. Very, very much thank you for all your inputs. It was absolutely fantastic, sir.
All right, thank you guys. Okay, wait a minute. Go ahead, Seats.
All right, as per normal, we're just about the end of the questions by the look of it. If I can just get you to summarise and let us know what the next week holds, because it's going to be a really busy week, because most of the stuff behind the scenes has been done. And if you can just give us an idea whereabouts you'll be this time next week. And then if you want to summarise, we'll close your show.
All right, I just dropped the link in there. If anybody wants to go check out my channel, I really do appreciate it. And like I said, any input that you guys can give me, or anyone that can input on how to do this and how to do that, I do appreciate it. All right, by this time next week, heating and air conditioning will be installed. Hopefully, he said it'd all be done by Friday. All I have to do is walk in the door and flip a switch. So that's where I'm looking at. That's my goal for that. By the end of the week, if that happens, I should have the whole house insulated, and maybe even some wiring ran. I definitely should have most of the plumbing in too. So that's my goal for by this time next week. I do appreciate it. Everyone coming, thanks for the questions, and you guys all have a good night.
Thanks, Herbster, and I enjoyed the show. It was good, informative, and we get an understanding where you're heading even after you complete this house. So thank you, Luther, for recording this, and that wraps up the show for this week.